So next we have for you guys, super excited to do the preview for this. We have Jones headlining. It's funny because he's been fighting so often, but every time there's so much hype behind him going to fight, it feels like it's been forever because you just always want to watch this guy as a practitioner the octagon. And this time, the challenger is coming in the form of Thiago Santos, a former paratrooper for the Brazilian army. So what are some of your takeaways in terms of Jones and Santos? Do you want to talk about Santos a little bit and how he might stack up as a contender right now?
Sure. I just wanted to add that the reason why we don't like Jones is fighting so much now, but we feel like, we want to see more of him or whatever, is because he hasn't had like a major super fight recently. Like he's trying to clean out the division, fight all the contenders, which is cool. I have nothing against that, obviously. And I think Thiago is, I don't know, from what I've seen about him, like he's awesome, man. He's a soldier. He's literally a soldier, a paratrooper, and he's a beast. I think he got it all. He started with capoeira and all that shit. So he's got like the kicks, he's got the versatility, he's got the flexibility,
capoeira,
everything.
He's got black belt in Muay Thai, he's got a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's got
hammers for fists.
He's got a sledgehammer tattooed on his chest for a reason. And that's the thing is he is such a dangerous, unpredictable fighter. And I think what he needs to do is just be real and true to himself and his style of fighting. Understand how you fight, how you can make it comfortable, and don't fall into the trap that every single other guy falls into, which is fighting Jon Jones' game. He takes you out of your game plan.
I think
he says, I'm going to make you fight my
done,
fight.
Right?
For sure.
I think a lot of people are like, when they face him, they realize that, oh shit, like my whole game plan's kind of out the door.
One thing that you know for sure, though, is that Jones' one-hit knockout power, if it's not that left kick, or maybe that right kick coming up the middle, it's not going to knock you out.
I also have the feeling that Jon Jones has been trying to lean out a little bit lately.
For sure.
As opposed to before, a couple years ago, he was trying to lift weights.
Up. Now he's looking like he's trying to lean out a little bit. It might be one of those bulk up and then cut, and then just kind of
and maybe he just feels better
strong and
he's
stay
getting
better.
older too.
Exactly,
so,
lighter on your feet. The same thing as the NBA mentality. You're seeing a lot of these older players losing weight so that they
more
don't
longevity
carry as much.
too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when you go and translate that over to Jones, you can obviously see that he's coming in with a nice temperament into the fights. But obviously someone who's lesser known here, obviously in the equation, is Thiago Santos. Now, Thiago Santos started off as a middleweight, and he was knocking people out. But then as he bulked up, he naturally ended up being a light heavyweight. He says he feels stronger and faster and more explosive right now than ever before. And I believe it, and I can see it. I watched his fight at the Scotiabank Arena. When
he fought tornado kicks and stuff like that?
When he fought Jimmy Manuwa and did
and he knocked him out?
720 tornado kicks. And I said, I don't understand how this 220... Because at the end of the
day...
that stuff, right? He's weighing 220-something walking in there, 230-something. So this guy's coming in there like a beast, and I saw the UFC like the connected the video where they show you everything in depth, the countdown I should say, and I learned a lot about Thiago and how he gives back to his community, and he comes from that city of God, favela in Brazil. They made movies out of. I
know. So I love that movie, City of God.
It's a crazy upbringing that he's had, man, and for him to see that it's like a full movie, but now he's got to try to take out the GOAT. And Jones has been through 3 eras of
clearing out legends.
Of clearing them out. He's like, when he was the young buck, he was taking all the old heads out. Then when it was all his contemporaries at the time, you got your Alexander Gustafssons and these other guys that were challenging him. These guys weren't up to stack. Now you've got this new wave of fresh blood. So now he's the older vet on the in terms of how long he's been fighting in the UFC and defending this belt. And now the target's still on him, and that fire and desire is burning within him. And I think Jon Jones is going to have a good chance here.
Yeah, I
think continue this streak.
I think nobody's ever has a complete guarantee that he's not going to get knocked out or slip up or
100%.
Something's going to happen, especially when you're fighting someone like Santos.
Yeah.
You can always get knocked out regardless, right? But I think Jon Jones is in the perfect spot right now because he's like right in his prime. He's fought, like you said, all these legends, so he's gained so much experience and knowledge off of this. And he's coming into the new generation with the knowledge in his prime. He's not washed out yet. He's not in his the end of his career.
There's a lot. He's 31. There's a lot of guys that are just hitting their stride now.
So he's in the perfect position. I think John Jones rules the division for a few more years, and I don't really see who can
He's probably gonna
challenge
stop
him.
off as the winningest fighter in that division. The
I
most
think he
defensive
goes as the
ever.
greatest
He's gonna go
of all
down
time.
big time like
Yeah.
that. And one thing that do have to say though is, if there's somebody who has enough power, ferocity, and intensity to clip somebody and then finish, Santos has that.
Oh yeah.
All it takes is a clip.
Mm-hmm.
Because this ain't Gustafsson gonna wait to keep picking you apart.
Right.
This is
It's gonna be
Santos
all
gonna be
over you.
swarming on you. So we're talking about some real power here, and we're talking about real agility, real unpredictability, real strength, real explosiveness, ability to cover a wide range. Now, he's a large guy too. He's a long guy. Now, obviously, no one's as long as John Jones.
Yeah.
But the worst spot I think that Santos could find himself, despite the black belt in BJJ, is on his back.
Oh yeah.
Standing up, he's got a chance, man. A real
That's
chance.
so funny that you mentioned that, because John Jones is a blue belt in BJJ, which of course doesn't reflect his grappling ability.
Right.
Obviously. But it's funny that a black belt will probably, I don't know, in my mind, I think John Jones is probably a better grappler than Santos.
Craftier. I think he's got some craftiness where, especially when you come from that wrestling background, where you go from anchor point to anchor point and leverage point to leverage point, and it's just a domino effect. You're like, okay, now that I'm grabbing your wrist, your other wrist is going to go down. Now that I grab that wrist, your knee is going to go down. I'm going to grab your ankle now. It's like that chain wrestling.
Right.
If you translate that to a submission style, like Brazilian jiu-jitsu, it just, and when you have those long
Long
limbs,
limbs, I was just going to say
it's
that.
just not
Yeah.
fair. It's just not fair.
It's just perfect.
He needs a
perfect
bit
body.
of technique because he has enough physical, right?
And he's got that mind where he like does stuff like out of the blue that you don't
Crafty.
expect, right?
Super crafty.
So that translates into his grappling too.
He loves that. And so we'll finish this off, I guess, right here. Who do you think you got right
John
here?
Jones all day, man.
Yeah, what round? And what style of victory?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think John Jones wins round 4 TKO.
I'm going to go Jones in round 4 submission.
Okay, yeah, there's.
We're
I
gonna
should
go
have
with
said
the
that. I
submission.
should have said that.
Okay, so that's beautiful. And he wants to finish. He wants to finish
Oh, yeah.
these guys.
'Cause
He
he
doesn't
wants
want to
to
go to
prove,
decision
he
like
wants
Anthony
to
Smith
show,
did.
yeah.
He wasn't proud of that. He wasn't proud of that performance, and that just shows you that
I know.
his biggest competitor is himself in his mind.
Yeah, but he straight up bullied Anthony Smith for all the rounds. But anyways, John Jones all day.
All day. Now, obviously, moving forward in this completely stacked card, we've got Amanda Nunes versus Holly Holm for the women's bantamweight title. Now, Amanda Nunes is also she's a 2-division champ. As everybody does know, she's considered the greatest women's
lioness.
fighter, the greatest women's
Yeah.
fighter in UFC history right now.
She's dope, man.
Well, I'm super duper excited to see how this all pans out. What are some of your thoughts heading into this fight?
My thoughts are, don't get me wrong, Holly Holm, what she did against Ronda, love Holly. Like, I think she's a great person. She's got such a kind of modest personality. Like, she's dope. She's dope all around. Great fighter too, amazing champion, all that stuff. With all that being said, and I'm nobody to criticize her because obviously her striking is so much beyond anything that I've ever seen, but it's like, I don't love her style. Like, her style, in and out, just jumping in with the 5-6 punches, like, hee. Like, she does that all the time. She verbalizes it too. And it's just like a little too much for me in terms of like, you're not going in, you're not going to hurt anyone with those punches. You're going in and out. And against someone like Amanda, that's not going to work. You're playing the points game and it's just not going to work. You're going to get knocked out. In my mind, Amanda Nunes is too ferocious. She's the Mike Tyson of the female game. And that's it. I got Amanda.
I can't disagree with a single point that you said, and the stats back it up. I mean, significant strike landed percentage. I mean, you can see that Holly Holm, she's only landing 34% of her significant strikes, whereas Amanda Nunes lands 51%. So you see efficiency in the power versus just volume, and I don't think volume is how you're going to beat Amanda Nunes. Now, I just don't see her path to victory here. Holly Holm is a tough out. She went the full distance against Cyborg. She beat Ronda Rousey. She's taken out some people. She went the full distance against Shevchenko. So she's fought some of the best in the world right now.
No doubt about it.
And win or loss, it's going decision. She's not an easy out.
Yeah.
The one notable loss was like the Miesha Tate submission
When she got choked out, yeah.
But with that being said,
I think she went to sleep too. She didn't really tap out. So, yeah.
See? But Amanda Nunes is a different animal.
Absolutely.
Holly Holm comes from world-class boxing, right?
Yeah.
And it's boxing, a little kickboxing as well.
Kickboxing as well, but I think mainly boxing.
Mainly boxing.
She started.
I just don't know what Amanda Nunes. I don't know what Holly Holm is gonna do. But the thing is, everyone said the same thing about the Ronda Rousey fight.
Yes.
In the Shevchenko fight, I don't know how she went the full distance against a girl like that. She's scary. And Cyborg full distance as well. So these are some real competitors with some knockout power. Shevchenko can knock anybody out. She showed that. Nunes has, obviously. Ronda Rousey showed her ability when she tried to stand. I don't know why she did that. And then Cyborg, we all know how she can knock people out. So Amanda, so Holly Holm is a smart fighter, but will she be able to navigate these waters with Amanda Nunes? I'm not so sure. How do you think this fight's gonna pan out?
Like you said, possibly you're right about that she's not an easy out, Holly Holm, but I think Amanda Nunes takes her out still. And actually, let me think about this again. You know what? A decision is more likely. I think a decision is more likely based on previous Holly Holm fights that I've seen. She can take punches. She moves around a lot. She's gonna be in and out, so she might be hard to catch. She's not gonna stand in front of Amanda Nunes like Cyborg did, right?
Right.
So, yeah, I would say a 5-round decision for Amanda Nunes.
Yeah, there's not going to be a very easy takedown for either or. They both have about an 80% takedown defense. So I was going to talk about maybe the ground, but Amanda Nunes does average almost 2 takedowns per 15 minutes. So if Amanda Nunes takes her down and bullies her and wins 2 rounds just laying on top of her and just wins another one standing up, the decision's right there waiting for the taking, right? I think I'm going to go with Amanda Nunes in this bout. I'm going to go with her by decision as well. I think that what's going to happen is Amanda Nunes understands that she's a double champ and she doesn't want to get rid of that title. And I think you're not going to see the same level of hunger and knockout, like the hunger for the knockout. When you're sitting here, when I could just like sit pretty and just not get hurt and just, kind of win this and just be smart about it type of thing. And just take it that way. Now you're gonna have some crazy exchanges, so anything can happen. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw an Amanda Nunes knockout in like round 3, but I'm gonna go with Nunes by decision as well.
Okay, yeah, it makes sense to me too.
Now my favorite fight on the card, it's Jorge Masvidal versus Ben Askren. Now, this is going to be a super interesting bout. I can't wait to see what happens here. This will really help shape what's happening in the welterweight division as well. I'm just going to get straight into it. What are your first takes on this matchup? Who you got? This is going to be a great little topic here.
I really like both guys. I'm going to start off with that. I've been a Masvidal fan for a while. We all know about his backyard fights and all that stuff. It was awesome. I like the guy. I think he's a real guy. He reminds me of a lot of my friends where I come from. Just the way he acts. So I like him. He's my type of dude. But I love Ben Askren too. He's just hilarious. And every time I just look at him with his hair and with his dad bod, I cannot. He's lovable. I like him. I like the guy. He's talks so much smack. And he's an awesome wrestler. Obviously, he's got a huge advantage over Masvidal in the wrestling department. Masvidal is not a terrible wrestler. He's a good wrestler. But he's just not on the level that Ben Askren is. With that being said, Masvidal is so much better in the striking department that it's not even funny. And I don't know, man. I'm gonna go with my boy Masvidal. I gotta, cause like I haven't seen Ben Askren still show me anything beyond. I'm gonna walk forward with my hands up, try to like clinch, and then let's see what happens. And always eats like 5 fucking nickel sandwiches in the meantime.
I'm gonna go right there along with you. Now, this is the thing: is every round starts standing, so Ben's gotta start from scratch and take a dude down and grind him out 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
All Jorge Masvidal needs is one opportunity to throw a flurry and just light his face up, and then next thing you know,
And then get on top.
Is a bloody mess.
And he might not be as lucky as he was with Robbie Lawler.
Exactly. I'm not gonna read so much into that Robbie Lawler fight where he got knocked around, dropped on his head, and somehow gritted it out.
Right.
You can't rely on matchups.
You can't do that every fight. I don't think.
You can't rely on that to happen every fight.
Yeah.
That is a problem. I'd say Robbie possesses more power than Jorge Masvidal, but in terms of he has great, phenomenal cardio. But Jorge Masvidal is just volume, and it's a little bit more technique, not in the sense of traditional technique, but it's not as brawler. Lawler's coming in there, bop, 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 bop. Let's just see what connects to your chin. Savage. Jorge Masvidal is like pop, 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 yeah. in and out, and it's just really, really annoying to deal with. And I think he's not one of those guys who relies on leg kicks and stuff to be effective against his opponents. So I'm expecting to see some great boxing from Jorge Masvidal, keep this thing standing, and just really try to brutalize Ben Askren and just kind of beat him up, break that nose, keep punching him for 4 rounds straight, 5 rounds straight. I think this is going to go 5-round TKO Jorge Masvidal. He's going to pop, pop, pop until he just drops him in the 5th round, and then he's going to finally finish him off. I think Jorge Masvidal, this is personal, and I think that he just wants to drag this punishment out.
Okay.
And it's going to be, and Ben Askren, this is the problem is, Jorge Masvidal could make a mistake in doing that. There's going to be an opportunity, really jump on it. And if you're smart, you finish him off. But if you keep wanting to drag this out and you let him have too many chances, Ben Askren is the kind of guy who will drag you down. And we've seen what kind of squeeze this guy possesses.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, okay. I would say also I'll go with Masvidal, like I said. You said which round? 5th round?
I said 5th round TKO.
I think it happens a little bit earlier, so I'd go with 4th round TKO for Masvidal.
Nice. Next up for you guys, we have Jan Blachowicz versus Luke Rockhold in the light heavyweight division. This is Luke Rockhold's debut. How do you think he's going to fare coming into this light heavyweight division? A division that's looking pretty stacked top to bottom.
I'm very curious because from what I've heard, from all the other Brandon Schaub and all those guys, is that Luke Rockhold is such a big guy, surprisingly big, and he should be able to stack up very well in the light heavyweight division. But I don't know, man. In my mind, he's still kind of a skinny dude for that division. He might be tall enough. I'm not saying he's not tall enough, but I think he's pretty light in the ass, like they say, for those guys at the light heavyweight division. And if I gotta be honest, I don't hate on Luke, and I think Blachowicz got knocked out his last fight or something like that.
I know for you right now.
Yeah, but I don't think. I mean, he had a good few fights, but I think he also lost a couple maybe along the way, which kind of took away a bit of his shine. Did he win? He lost against Santos.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well that's really no nag on him, but
Yeah, so that should be a very interesting one. I think Jan Blachowicz is he's ranked number 6. It's still an unassuming guy, He's a guy where if you're not ready and you're not on your game that night, you're gonna lose. But I think Rockhold is gonna be coming in here and he's gonna be looking to make a bit of a statement here. He's got some crazy kickboxing. I feel like he's gonna be able to be closer to his natural weight. Okay. I think that he's gonna be able to, as he grows into this division and he allows his body to fill out a bit more, he's gonna be able to put maybe even 5 to 10 more pounds of good muscle on. He could fare well in the long term against some of the better guys in terms of size. I think Jan Blachowicz is a perfect welcoming matchup for him for this division.
I think so.
It's a good tune-up. It's a good adjustment period. And I think it's the best way that he could have went into this as opposed to taking on a seasoned light heavyweight contender at the highest end, I should say, of the totem pole. So I think Luke Rockhold will take this fight, me personally. I think we're going to see a good Luke Rockhold come up. He's going to look sharp. He's going to look strong. He's going to look fast. I think because when you feel better, you're going to be able to perform at your peak levels. So I think that we're going to see Luke Rockhold come in, make a little bit of a statement in my mind. I got him for a 3rd round TKO.
Okay, I see you're on the Luke Rockhold train, but
at least for this fight.
I don't know, man. I feel something. I feel some universal energy flowing through me, saying that Blachowicz is probably gonna finish Rockhold. I don't know. I think so. The way I see it in my mind, maybe I'm completely off. I might be completely off. But I think that, Luke has been away for a minute now. He's making a change, going up, facing, obviously at training, he faces Kane and DC, so he's used to bigger guys and all that stuff. But in any case, I think he might not have the best start. And he might eventually transition to solely doing modeling and all that stuff that he's doing, movies that he's doing on the side. He would be a great James Bond, don't you think?
Right. No, for sure. No, you got a good point there. And if he's long on the tooth and he's not ready for this, then he's gonna get murked, and that's just it. I just think that he's gonna win one, and then he's gonna start losing. I don't think he's gonna win one, get some false confidence, and he's like, I think I can beat John Jones. I think he's gonna beat Jan Blachowicz and think he can beat John Jones.
In any case, whatever happens, this is gonna be a very kind of turning point.
We'll see
for Luke Rockhold.
The next one we have is Diego Sanchez versus Michael Chiesa. This is going to be a crazy barn burner. Who you got, man? What's going on here?
I gotta go with Diego Sanchez.
Yes, always. I love it. That's funny.
Every day, man.
You're going with Diego Sanchez. I'm going to go with Michael Chiesa just for the just for the love of it. I'm going to go Michael Chiesa via submission. It's going to get down there. It's going to get ugly, and he might get caught. But Diego Sanchez just quit from Jackson Wink. He definitely made some changes to his camp. 3 weeks out, he quit Jackson Wink. He's like, I'm going to go do my own thing. So this is going to be a different Diego Sanchez.
Do you think he had like some kind of issues going on?
He said he didn't feel like he was getting the focus that he deserved. Like instead of just like keep drilling what you're already good at, it's like, no, I want to we need to have some more focus on growing Diego Sanchez as a fighter, it's a little bit different. So he felt like he needed to go somewhere where he was a little bit more first, right? So
he should know because he's been in the game for a long time.
He's been around. He's been there for time. So we'll see. He's gonna come in there and he's gonna throw down. We're gonna see a great fight, but I just see Michael Chiesa pulling something out here. He's not an easy out. This guy, he's 15-4. He's got a decent record. Diego Sanchez is also out here. He's got a great record. This is going to be a great fight, man. These are some tough. Is this a tough winners? Both of them?
Aren't they? Yeah.
Facing each other. Number one versus God knows which one Michael Chiesa is from. This should be a very exciting matchup. This one I'm the most excited. Like in terms of optics, like this is one of the easiest ones on paper where I'm like, this is going to be a great scrap. Right, followed and then closely, right, maybe tied with Jorge Masvidal versus Askren. So I'm super excited for this fight. I said Michael Chiesa.
Yep,
and
I said Sanchez.
And it could be Diego Sanchez, and I wouldn't care. I can't wait for this fight.
Yeah, me too. I just don't think Chiesa can tap Sanchez out. That's all.